न गुरोरधिकं तत्त्वं न गुरोरधिकं तपः।
കോടാനുകോടി വർഷങ്ങളായി സത്യമേ തേടുന്നു നിന്നെ മനുഷ്യൻ, തേടുന്നു നിന്നെ മനുഷ്യൻ. കോടാനുകോടി വർഷങ്ങളായി സത്യമേ തേടുന്നു നിന്നെ മനുഷ്യൻ, തേടുന്നു നിന്നെ മനുഷ്യൻ. ധ്യാനനിമഗ്നനായി നിൻ ദിവ്യധാരയിൽ ആത്മാവിനെ ചേർത്തൊഴുക്കാം. എല്ലാം ത്യജിച്ചു ഋഷീശ്വരർ എണ്ണിയാൽ തീരാത്ത വർഷം തപസ്സിരുന്നു. കോടാനുകോടി വർഷങ്ങളായി സത്യമേ തേടുന്നു നിന്നെ മനുഷ്യൻ, തേടുന്നു നിന്നെ മനുഷ്യൻ. ഘോരമായി വീശും കൊടും കാറ്റിലും നിന്റെ സൂര്യ തേജസ്സുള്ള കൊച്ചുനാളം ആടിക്കളിക്കാതനങ്ങാതെ നിൽക്കുന്നു. ആർക്കും അടുക്കുവാൻ കെൽപ്പെടാതെ. കോടാനുകോടി വർഷങ്ങളായി സത്യമേ തേടുന്നു നിന്നെ മനുഷ്യൻ, തേടുന്നു നിന്നെ മനുഷ്യൻ. പുഷ്പലതകളും പൂജാമുറികളും പുത്തൻ കൊടിമര ക്ഷേത്രങ്ങളും എത്ര യുഗങ്ങളായി കാത്തിരുന്നു നിന്നെ താത്ത ദൂരത്താണിന്നു. കോടാനുകോടി വർഷങ്ങളായി സത്യമേ തേടുന്നു നിന്നെ മനുഷ്യൻ, തേടുന്നു നിന്നെ മനുഷ്യൻ, തേടുന്നു നിന്നെ മനുഷ്യൻ, തേടുന്നു നിന്നെ മനുഷ്യൻ. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om. Dhyayamo Thavadavakunthanavatim Tejomayam Nashtakim Igdhapanga Vilokinim Bhagavatim Mandatpita Sri Mukhim Valsalyamritavarshinim Samaduram Sankirtanalapinim Shamangi Mathatikta Suktim Amritageetananda Ishwarim Om Gum Gurubhyo Namaha Amritageetananda Namaha Om Gam Ganapate Namaha Om Ha Saraswate Namaha Om. My infinite prostrations at the lotus feet of my Sadguru Sri Mata Amritageetananda Devi, Universal Teacher, Universal Mother, and my humble pranams to all our most beloved children. This again is the continuation of our topics on salient features of Sanatana Dharma. We have discussed in the last episode, we have discussed about yajna, the importance of yajna, and now we will continue the yajna, the Panchayajna to serve the Universal Mother. The Mother Devi, this entire universe is her form, vast form, and therefore to serve the to serve the Universal Mother, we have to perform the Panchamahayajna. That is what we have discussed. And finally, completely merging into her, that is what we have to achieve. So we say that is like the ice on the ocean. The Devi is like the ocean, and we are like small pieces of ice floating on the ocean. By our the sadhana, we slowly melt, and we become one with the ocean. The ice completely melts, and once we become one with the ocean, we become infinite. Or like the camphor also, it burns in the fire of knowledge and devotion. The camphor completely burns, it becomes one with the atmosphere. That is, we have to understand. So how to worship Devi we have understood. Now the important point is, today we will cover we have to understand what are the different sadhanas we have to understand very well. What are the krama also, the order also, the karma, upasana, and finally jnanam. So if you see, now we have discussed yajna. Now we have to come to the next point, that is, we have to understand that actions by themselves can only purify us, but actions by themselves, they cannot give us liberation. And therefore, two very important points of our silent features are, which we differ from the other religions, is that one is, we say that in other religions they say bad actions give us permanent hell and good actions give us permanent heaven. We say no. Both bad actions and good actions, both are finite by nature. Therefore, we go to hell, or we go to the jivas go to hell, or jiva goes to heaven. And then after Chine Punye Marti Loke Vishanti, after their merits are over, from heaven also they come back. What I mean by heaven is Swargaloka. I don't mean the Vaikunta or Kailas or where the Mahavishnu Bhagavan and Shiva reside. That's not what I meant. The Swargaloka, the Indraloka, from there we go, that heaven is only a heaven of enjoyment. So from there we come back. Therefore, the point is, actions are limited, not only bad actions, but good actions also, they are limited. Good actions alone cannot give us liberation. After purifying through good actions, then we have to go to the contemplation stage. That is what we have to understand. And therefore, both bad actions and good actions, they cannot give us liberation. The good actions can only purify us. And again, the other religions say that heaven and hell are both permanent. If you perform bad actions, one goes to permanent hell, and if you perform good actions, then we go to permanent heaven. How can that be is our question. Because the finite, if you say a person who has done only bad actions, and then finally he dies and he goes to hell. When a person who has done only good actions, he goes to heaven. So we can understand a person who has done only good actions, he goes to eternal heaven, permanent heaven. That we can understand. But a person who has done only bad actions, if he is given eternal hell, that we cannot understand, because in 100 years of good, bad actions, how is he given eternal hell, eternal punishment? Therefore, the actions and the results are out of proportion. Finite results cannot create the infinite action. Therefore, we have to understand both are limited. That is what we have to understand. Therefore, today we will discuss a very beautiful text by Ramana Maharshi. Like for example, now Amma is going to America. So we are following Amma. There are about 8 to 10 cars. We are all we are escorting Amma to the airport. And at a red signal, when we stop, a person comes and asks, "Where is Amma going?" So I tell him, "Airport." So he said, "I know that. I know that she's going to airport. Where is she going?" So there's the implied. The question is, where is Amma going? I should say Amma is going to airport, or I should say Amma is going to America. Therefore, if I want to go to America, and a taxi cannot take me to America, but a taxi is certainly required from ashram to the airport, or a car is required. From the airport, then you take a domestic flight. Then from Bombay or the Sri Lanka, etc., or the Delhi, then she takes an international flight. Therefore, there are 3 stages: taxi from Amritageetananda to airport, domestic airport, then domestic flight, then international flight. So therefore, there are 3 stages. Wherever she is going towards America only. And therefore, in this way, we have to understand that we have to do karma. After karma, we do upasana or worship. And then from worship, finally, we go to contemplation or meditation. That is very, very important point. And therefore, now let us see Ramana Maharshi, Bhagavan Ramana. He has composed a very short of about 20 verses. It's a very, very profound, deep text on Vedanta, but he is covering actions, karma, upasana, and yoga, and finally he will come to the main jnana also. So we can see that now. Actually, what happened was, there is a story behind the composition of this is called Upatesha Saram. Upatesha Saram. So there was a group of ascetics, a group of the priests. They believed only in rituals. They believe that anything can be achieved through rituals, and therefore, in Darukavana, they were performing a lot of rituals, going to heaven, etc. And therefore, Bhagavan Shiva and Bhagavan Vishnu, they felt very sad. So they thought that we should make them understand that rituals are certainly necessary to purify ourselves and expand our mind, but rituals alone cannot give us liberation. Bhagavan Shiva and Bhagavan Vishnu, they decided. Bhagavan Vishnu came down, and Bhagavan Vishnu, he came in the Bhagavan Shiva, he took the form of a young sannyasi, and he attracted the wives of the ascetics, these priests. So priests got very angry. And then Mahavishnu, he took the form of Mohini, and he came to the priests, and he attracted the priests also. So the priests also became totally deluded. So Bhagavan Shiva, in the form of a young brahmachari, he attracted the priests' wives, and Bhagavan Vishnu took the form of Mohini, and he attracted the priests also. They were also deluded. Then finally they got very angry with Bhagavan Shiva, because he was attracting their wives. So they created a lot of weapons, and they tried to destroy Shiva, but he could easily disarm them, We can see the picture. Finally they sent a demon, and he just he's just stamped on them. In the picture we can see Bhagavan Shiva and the dancing form of Bhagavan Shiva standing on a demon. You can see that is the picture. So now the ascetics understood that they made a mistake. They came to Bhagavan Shiva and said, "Oh Bhagavan, please pardon us. We thought that with the rituals we can reach heaven and we can reach the highest goal. Now we understand that it's not so. So please teach us how we can reach the ultimate goal of human life." That is the story. This story was written in very beautiful poetry form by a Tamil poet, Muruganar. Muruganar wrote this story beautifully in poetry in Tamil. But then the Bhagavan Shiva's teachings, Bhagavan Shiva taught them that karma, actions and upasana, worship, karma and upasana, actions and worships are meant to purify us, but finally we have to go to deep meditation, and we have to completely merge into that Supreme Being. That philosophy given by Bhagavan Shiva, the poet Muruganar could not write that. So he came to Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi, and he said, "Bhagavan, I have written the story, but I am not able to write the philosophy. Please help me, please write the philosophy, the teachings of Shiva." And therefore Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi, he very beautifully, in very capsule form, he gave the teachings. That is what we call as Upadesha Saram, the essence of the advice. That's the meaning. And then we say, we are told that the Bhagavan gave the teachings, and Amma Bhagavan Ramana's teachings was in poetry form, that was composed by Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi's one of the disciples, Ganapati Muni. So this is what we call as Upadesha Saram. So there are about 20 verses, so we can see them. So we come to the first verse now. So it says, "Karturajaya prapyate phalam karma kim param karma tajjadam." So they say, "Karturajaya prapyate phalam karma kim param karma tajjadam." So they say, "Karturajaya prapyate phalam." By the grace of the Supreme Being, by the grace of God alone, we can get the results of actions. So here it's trying to point out the limitation of action. So the action cannot give us the infinite, because action is dependent. We need the karta, the doer. We need the instrument of action, and we need the kriya, the action. So the person who does the action, the instrument, the kriya, the time, space, so many factors. So the action is dependent on so many factors. When you are sowing a seed, we have to say there's a person who takes a seed and sow the seed. So we have to dig the soil, prepare the soil well, dig etc. And at the same time, we should have space. So space factor is there. We should do the sowing at the right time. Therefore, the doer, the action, the instrument, time, space, so many factors are there. So many finites cannot create the infinite. That is the meaning. And therefore, even if we perform all the actions accurately, still it does not mean it. There is 100% sure that we will get the result of action. The seed may not germinate. So that is called, if you do all the actions perfectly, still there is one more fact called Daivam, the unknown factor. I did everything, but what happened? I will think. That Daivam factor is mixing. Amma always says that, remember children, that the self-effort is very much necessary, but along with that, if there is no God's grace, we will not get the fruit of action. That is the first meaning, and therefore, Karturajaya prapyate phalam karma kim param karma tajjadam. Therefore, by the God's grace alone, we can get the action. even if all the factors are there, we can never say that we can get the result of our action. The first one. So then lot of preparation is there. So we will see the preparation also. So they say in Mundaka Upanishad and Kaivalya Upanishad, in the beginning we see Shaunoko Havai Mahashalaha Angirasam Vidivat Upasanna Papracha. Shaunaka was a person. Shaunako Havai Mahashalaha. Mahashalaha means one who has a great Yajnashala. So that means the Shaunaka is a person who had a big Yajnashala. So after that, the Angirasam Vidivat Upasanna Papracha. So Angiras was a great rishi, we know. So Shaunaka, the householder, he had the Yajnashala. So that means that he had already done a lot of yajnas. So Shaunaka, after doing a lot of yajnas and purifying himself, he approaches Angiras Rishi Vidivat in the proper manner and the Vidivat Upasanna Papracha. He approached after doing a lot of yajnas and purifying himself. Shaunaka approached the great sage, the Angiras, and in the proper manner. We should always come to the Guru or the Acharya in the proper manner with a lot of humility. And then he asked the question. So that is what we indicate. Before we come to the Guru for Atmajnanam, the preparation is there. And that is the preparation is karma and upasana. Again we say in Kaivalya Upanishad, we say Atha Shalayanaha Bhagavantam Parameshanam Upasamiti Uvacha. Atha Ashvalayanaha Bhagavantam Parameshtinam Upasamiti Uvacha. So the text, it says that Ashvalayana, the person, he comes to Brahma and he also asks the same question. I want Brahmajnanam. So you see the text begins with the word Atha. Atha means then, afterwards. What does it mean? When a text begins with the word then means then afterwards, after that. So something has been done before. Atha. So after doing something, he comes to Brahma. So again it indicates that word Atha, it means then. So that means something has been done before. Then the text begins with the word then. He approaches the Ashvalayanaha, approaches Brahma. So that means again he has done karma upasana. Then he has come to the, what do you call it, the Brahma. So this is what you say. So you say second verse is you say Kritimaho dadau patana karanam Palamashashatam Gati Nirodhakam. So man wants something which is very permanent. They say Kritimaho dadau patana karanam Palamashashatam Gati Nirodhakam. So they say the Kritim Maha Udadi, the great ocean of the action. A person performs an action. If he is not satisfied, he performs an action. There is a chain connection. He goes on performing action after action, thinking that the next action will give me happiness. It goes on. That's they say Kriti Maha Udadhi, the great ocean. Kriti Maha Udadau, in the great ocean of the action. Patana Karanam, he falls into this vast ocean of action, and what happens? Palam Ashashatam. Therefore, when the action is finite, the result also will be finite. A finite action can never give us infinite result. That's the meaning. So, Gati Nirodhakam, his progress is retarded or stopped, checked. So we say, we can just example, a person, a young man, he was forced by his friends to the bar, and this young man was forced to drink. So for the first time, he took the one peg of liquor. See, he liked it. So then he came back home. First time in his life, he went to the bar. His friend forced him, so he went there and took the liquor, and he came back. Now what has happened? That experience, that memory lingers in his mind. That is called vasana. That vasana, that memory, that taste and the kick, it lingers in his mind. That is called vasana. Now what happens? Next day evening by 6:30, 7:30, suddenly he remembers yesterday's experience. So that is called the thought. From the memory, the thought comes. Yesterday's the experience. And then what happens? From the thought comes the desire, agraham. Desire comes. So when desire comes, again he goes to the liquor shop. So second action, again the memory comes, asana becomes stronger. So from the vasana, again third day, again the thought comes. Yesterday's the action, the vasana becomes stronger. You see vasana, because after we eat, when we smell, that smell is still there. That's called vasana. So the memory of that is called vasana. Therefore, 2 times I have taken. Then tomorrow, certainly, same time, I will get the memory, thought. And when I get the thought, the desire arises. I want to drink again. Action comes again. The memory becomes stronger. So in this way, vasana, thought, action, vasana, thought, desire, action, vasana, thought, desire, action, vasana, thought, desire, action. This is the chakra. This is a circle by which he gets caught in that. So he becomes finally every day he goes on drinking, and he becomes the liquor addict. This is the danger they faces. So now we will go to the next verse. So what does it mean? So does it mean that we should not have any desire? That is not the meaning. So when we say the karmanyevadikarsте ma paleshu kadachana, you should concentrate only on the actions and never on the results. So we have to understand that very well. How is it possible? So the meaning is, like I give you an example, a doctor is performing a very serious, a complicated surgery on a patient. So what the doctor thinks? He said, I pray to God and I will do my best. I leave everything in God's hands, and with a lot of concentration and confidence, he will perform the action on the patient with the complicated surgery. Now, suppose that patient is the doctor's own son, then what happens? Then his hands are shaking. What will happen? Yesterday, it was another patient, so he had detachment. When he had detachment, he said, I pray to God, I will do my best. I leave the rest to God. But when his own son is being operated, he will not say that. And therefore, when during the operation, my thoughts is all what will happen. I am concentrating on the results, and concentrating on the results makes my actions defective. I cannot perform the actions in an efficient manner. If I am concentrating on the actions, my actions become very efficient. If I am concentrated on the results of action, the action become very inefficient. I may not get the result. That is the meaning. Again, I want to pass the exam, so that is fine. That is my desire is to passing. I want to results. What is my result? I want to pass my exam. The results. That is very good. But suppose I think I want to get the 95 marks. That I want to get 95 marks, then or 100% marks, and then I don't get then that is what we call as the desire. So that is called atyagraha. Called in Malayalam, you say atyagraham. If I want to pass the exams with good marks, that is understandable. But I want to get 95% marks, then that is what we call as adyak. Nothing wrong with that. But if you don't get 95, then we become completely depressed. Therefore, we have to understand the difference between when I was young when I was young, like a student, we had so many topics to discuss. We were discussing. One topic was, what is the difference? What is the difference between ambition and greed? What is the difference between ambition and greed? You can say, like when you are on the highway, there is a speed limit. So your accelerator, your foot is on the accelerator. You have exerted a just amount of pressure, and therefore it goes at maybe 90 kilometers per hour. That is the, for example, 90 kilometers per hour. That is the speed limit. There is no problem. But suddenly, if you press a little more, it becomes 100 kilometers. The camera clicks, it catches you. So is it not? In the same way, ambition. Every one of us have ambition. I want to become doctor, I want to become engineer, I want to become film star, I want to become cricket batsman, I want to become a top singer. We have ambition, but nothing wrong with that. But when ambition goes beyond the limit, it becomes greed. I want to become the best singer. That can create some problem. I want to become the best among them all. That can create problems. So we have to understand that. We have we should understand the limitation. And we have to have that surrender. So next verse beautifully says, third verse says, Ishararpitam na ichchaya kritam chitta shodakam mukti sadakam. So you say, Ishararpitam na ichchaya kritam. So I surrender everything to Amma, and I am performing all my actions for Amma or for your God, or Ishtadevata, can be Shiva or Vishnu, or Ayyappa or any other Devata. Ishararpitam na ichchaya kritam. Kritam should be done without any desire, and I am performing all my actions to God. Then what happens is that I have everything for Amma. Chitta shodagam, the mind becomes pure. And it happens, mukti sadagam. So I am only an instrument of God, and therefore it does not bind me. You say the Ichcha Shakti, Jnana Shakti, Kriya Shakti, Surupini. So that belongs to God. So that understanding you should have, and therefore from God alone we get all these Ichcha Shakti, Jnana Shakti, Kriya Shakti we got from Amma, only just her power. So my desire, the knowledge and my action, everything has come from her only. With this understanding, we should always perform our actions with the total spirit of surrender. So therefore, then understand that a soldier in an army, in a war, a soldier kills many enemies, but he is rewarded because he is not an individual. He is representing the Indian army. He is not an individual. He is part of an army. Therefore, he has no individuality. His individuality is completely surrendered to the Indian army. And therefore, in the same way, I surrender my individuality to the totality of God. And when in that spirit, when I do the actions, then it becomes chitta shodagam. Chitta shodagam. My mind becomes purified. Mukti sadagam, my mind is completely purified. So you see that the problem is, you see, the Nachiketas, if you remember Nachiketas, 7-year-old boy, see, he was offered everything by, we know the story well, the Yamadeva, when Nachiketas said, I want to know what happens after death. Yamadeva said, you are a little boy, see, even the gods cannot understand. Why do you want to know all this? I will give you all these dancing girls and all the aeroplanes, the aircraft, all those things. And I will give you a long life also. So then Nachiketa says, Shobhava martyasya idantike tat sarvendriyanam jaryanti tejaha api sarvam jeevitam alpameva tavayavaha tavan nirtagite. The 7-year-old boy fearlessly faces Yama and says, Shobhava martyasya idantike tat. A man's life, it is like tomorrow is not in my hands. Amma says the next breath is not in our hands. So Shobhava martyasya idantike tat. We do not know what will happen tomorrow. Sarvendriyanam jaryanti tejaha. Gradually, all the sense organs will start losing its capacity. In my young, when I am young, I can do a lot more of things. But as I grow older, now unfortunately because of our poor youngsters, they are 9 hours, 10 hours. Their eyes are glued to their laptop. Even the eyes become weak, ears become weak, even when they are even young. So, sarva indriyanam jaryanti tejaha. The power of the sense organs decrease very fast. Api sarvam jivitam alpameva. Even the longest life is indeed short. So, Yamadeva tavaiva vaha tava nirtigete. Yamadeva, you can keep your dancing girls and your aeroplanes with yourself. He's not insulting. He say, hey, I don't want it, please. Because he will not give me any joy. That is the meaning. So look at the daring, the vairagya of the little boy. He is our hero. Let Nachiketas be our hero. We can worship Nachiketas. Let us become hero worshippers. Nachiketas hero worshippers. That is a good thing. Okay, now, and therefore now Bhagavan Ramana gives us the very beautiful method, the beautiful krama. This is very, very important. Listen very carefully. Bhagavan says, Kaya Vangmana Karyamuttamam Pujanam Japa Chintanam Kramat. This is the beautiful order. We say we want to worship God, we want to reach our goal. So how do we start? So there is a correct order. Like I said, first taxi, then domestic flight, then international flight. In the same way, Bhagavan says, we have Kaya Vangmana Karyamuttamam Pujanam Japa Chintanam Kramat. We say Kaya, body, Vang, speech, mana. We see body, speech and mind. We have 3 instruments. With these 3 instruments, what do? Pujanam japa, chintanam kramat. With my body, I do the puja. With my tongue, I do the chantings and the japa. And with my mind, I do the chintanam, thinking, what is that Supreme Being, that meditation, that is the thing. Now they say, to fix my mind on God, the mind is the main instrument. No, look at the advantage of acharyas. Our acharyas, our great acharya said, the puja is done by the mind. The body is only an instrument. Therefore, my dear devotees, when you are inside the temple, let us not go on chatting. Let us go on chanting. Add an N to your chatting and make it chanting. That N is that nama japa. So if I go to a temple, if I inside a temple, certainly I will get punya, no doubt. But physical presence alone is not enough. Physically inside the temple, I am talking about politics and mobile. I get very little. My mind should be totally focused on Bhagavan. So that is what we say. We say, Manasa Hedamaptavyam Neha Nanasti Kinchana. You say, Mrityo Samurti Mapnoti Iha Nanaya Pashati. It has to be known by the mind. And by the way, it has to be that Supreme Being has to be known by the mind. There is no Neha Nanasti Kinchana. We see differences here. There are absolutely no differences. Mrityose murti mapnoti yaiha nanaiva pashati. That person will go from birth to birth alla. He goes from death to death. Mrityose murti mapnoti yaiha nanaiva pashati. A person who sees differences here, there are too many things here, he will have to be born again and again. Therefore, he says, when we do chintanam, what happens? When we do chintanam, after the kaya, the pujanam japa chintanam, we do the puja and the japa, then we come to chintanam, what happens? Then our mind is totally purified. I can see that is All these are different forms of the one supreme being. That understanding we can have. So we say pujanam. Like puja is idu purnatvam janayati. Idu puja purnatvam janayati. That is the puja is something which gradually take us to the supreme being. So that is puja. And next we have japa. Jakaro janma vichedaha, pakaro papanashakha. Janma, the japa is janma vicheda, that which destroy the next birth. And papa, the japa, the pakaro papanashakha. The pa means that which destroys sins. Therefore, japa means one which destroys the future births and by destroying all sins. That's the meaning of japa. And therefore, then we have this instrument. This I have already given this example many times. When we have intense devotion, I give the example of the mother taking care of the baby. The mother is very affectionate to her baby. So she is totally focused on her baby. And then even after looking after the baby, she goes to the office. There also she can easily remember her baby because of that attachment to her baby. Because she was fond of affection for her baby. Remembrance is easy. In the same way, when we have real devotion to God, then puja, then we can even remember God without the external support. So they say the tricycle, bicycle, monocycle. A child who is only 5 years old, he is the tricycle, three wheels, tricycle. When he's 5 years old, when he becomes 15 years old, he can manage with 2 wheels, bicycle. He has learned balancing. And finally, when he becomes a 25-year-old, he joins circus. He can manage with one wheel, circus. So in the 5-year-old boy, 3 wheels, 15-year-old boy, 2 wheels, bicycle, and 25 years is circus, 1 wheel. In the same way, in the beginning, the mind has 2 supports, the body and Om Amritageetananda Namaha, Sri Matre Namaha, Sri Maharaja Namaha. Body has 2 supports, so it will become a little easier. The body and the speech. Finally, after a long time, what happens? Now the body becomes still, we have only one support, that's called japa. Pujanam, slowly it stops and it becomes only japa. We have only support, and then we come to japa. So, Om Amritageetananda Namaha, Om Amritageetananda Namaha, Om Amritageetananda Namaha. We have one support, body has become still. Then we come to the last stage, Chintanam. That is what we have seen. So Manatha Puja, the Amma has taught us Manatha Puja. What is the real puja we will see now? The real puja, Bhagavan says, Jagada Ishadhi Yukta Sevanam Ashtamurti Brit Deva Pujanam. What is the real puja? When we do the Sevanam is the Jagada Ishadhi Yukta Sevanam. Along with Sevanam, Yukta means joined. Along with Sevanam, you have to join something with the Seva. What do you have to join? The attitude, Jagada Ishadhi, the understanding that the entire world is God. That understanding you have to join with the Seva. So the Seva is complete when the Jagada Ishadhi Yukta Sevanam, that the understanding that the entire universe is God, that understanding you join with the Seva. Jagada Ishadhi Yukta Sevanam. Then only the Seva is complete. Jagada Ishadhi Yukta Sevanam Ashtamurti Brit Deva Pujanam. See, we can understand, we start the puja from our puja room or temple, but it is extended to the entire universe. Ashtamurti Brit Deva Pujanam. The Ashtamurti means, they say, they take the 5, Ashtamurti 8 forms. 5, we say the 5 elements. space, air, fire, water, earth. These 5 elements. Then we add the sun, which represents all the luminous objects. We take the moon, which represent the non-luminous objects, and finally we take the ego. These are the 5 elements: sun representing luminous objects, moon representing non-luminous objects, the planets, and the ego. These are the Ashtamurti. So the entire creation, we have to take Ashtamurti Brit Dev Bhojanam. So when we worship the entire creation, that is the real puja. Rama says, Bimbam Namikam Sharassaham Bhavatal Engum Vinayamatal. So the Ambige Sarvatra Vyapta Chaitanyame Dambam Din Munilale. You know that's very well. So that we have to understand that also. So now we have seen what is puja. Now we will briefly see what is japa and what is the dhyanam also we can see. So it says that the japa, there are 3 levels of japa. Like the mother, when she takes the baby, first she sings in a loud voice to attract the baby's attention. Then the baby is focused on the mother. Then slowly she reduces the volume, and then when finally say slowly the baby go to sleep. First in a loud voice she will sing, then the mother will reduce the volume, and finally the baby will go to sleep. So in the same way, the Bhagavan Ramana says, Uttamastavat Uchamandada Chittajam Japa Dhyanamuttamam. You say Dhyanamuttamam. That is the real, that is Dhyanam Uttamam. That is the real main sadhana is Dhyanam. So first we do puja for a long time, then we have got some concentration. Slowly puja stops and becomes Manasa puja. Then we say Uttama Stavat. Stava means all kinds of chanting. In chanting, we have the musical instruments and the beautiful tunes. It is easy for concentration. Concentration and purity, the concentration is easy when we have many supports, the musical instruments and the very beautiful tunes. It is so easy. We completely become absorbed in Amma during bhajans. So, but they say Uttamastava. Then finally we remove one by one we remove the supports. Uttamastavat Uchamandada Chittadam Japa Dhyanamuttamam. They say first we go on. First we chant 1,000 names. Srimatre Namaha. There are different thousands. So when there is variety, the concentration is easy. So 1,000 names, the different names, they become relatively easy. But then when we chant the same name 1,000 times, that little more difficult. Slowly we become sleepy. So Uttamastavat Ucha Mandada Chittadam Japa Dhyanamuttamam. So first chant loudly Ucha Japa. Then Manda Japa means only I can hear what I'm chanting. Om Amritageetananda Namaha, Om Amritageetananda Namaha, Om Amritageetananda Namaha, Om Amritageetananda Namaha. I slowed it. Then slowly, without moving my tongue and lips, mentally I chant Om Amritageetananda Namaha, Om Amritageetananda Namaha. When we were a child, this happened 100 times I have told. When we were a child, how much is 4 plus 5? I will say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9, you can say. But now when I say how much is 54 plus 45, without moving my tongue, I will say 99. How much is 54 plus 45? 99 has come. Mental japa. Practice. Nairintarena dhirka kalena. Continuously for a long time. That is the one more. And then, so we say this is the japa. First loudly, then whisper, then without moving the tongue. Body support gone, tongue support gone. Only now one wheel. First 3 wheels, 2 wheels, and finally 1 wheel. Japa only dhyanam, Om Amritageetananda, without moving the tongue. So that we say one more thing, one more verse we say briefly, then we will stop. He says how should be, how the thought should be. Bhagavan Ramana says, Ajyadharaya Srota Sasamam Sarala Chintanam Viralatah para. So they say, how should the thoughts be? Thoughts should be like Ajyadharaya. Ajya means ghee. It should be, you see the difference when the water flows, it is broken. Whereas when the ghee flows, it is thick and continuous. That thick, it indicates bhakti. Snigdha. We see the word snigdha pangavalokinim bhagavatim. Snigdha means sneha, snigdha, that is thick. That therefore the thought flow should be like the flow of the ghee. It indicates purity and devotion. The ghee is pure, it purifies. It is pure, and the ghee, when we add ghee in the food, the ghee purifies the food also. So it is thick. And then the two examples, Ajyadharaya, Srotasa Samam. Srotasa Samam means like the flow of the river, swift. It should be very soft, so it should be very fast also. The continuous. These two examples are given. Then he says, Sarala Chintanam Ajyadharaya Srotasasamam. Sarala Chintanam Viralatah para. So Sarala Chintanam means continuous thinking. When there is devotion, we can continuously, like the gopis, they could not think anything other than Krishna. It was so powerful. So powerful, it's always continuously, every second, in every breath, Amma says, in every breath, she used to remember Devi. So that Sarala Chintanam, continuous thinking, Viralatah para. Virala means broken thinking. Sometimes I think of Amma, then I'm thinking of Amma, and in front of Amma, we are seeing Naivedyam, and I say, I have a nice laddu, Tirupati laddu is there, and then my thought goes to laddu, and all those payasam broken. Again, I can come to Amma. That is called Virala Chintanam, broken. So the superior to broken thinking is continuous thinking. That is regarding bhakti. We can continue with this is part 1 of Upadeshataram. So we can continue the Bhagavan teaching again in maybe in the next session. So let us stop here for the time being and listen to our Amma's little children chanting the same Upadeshataram. Let us listen to the children chanting Om Amritageetananda Lokaha Om Lokaha Samastaha Sukhino Bhavantu Om Shanti 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 Hari Om.
Adha Upadeshasadam. Karturajnaya Karyate Bhalam Karma Kim Param Karma Tajjadam Kriti Mahodadhau Padana Karanam Bhalama Shashvatam Gati Nirodhakam Ishwararpitam Nechaya Kritam Chitta Shodhakam Mukti Sadhagam Kaya Vangmana Kaya Muttamam Pujanam Japa Chintanam Kramat Jagaishadhi Yukta Sevanam Ashtamurti Bhrat Deva Pujanam Uttamastavat Uchchamandata Chittajam Japa Dhyanamuttamam Ajyadharaya Srotasasamam Sarala Chintanam Viralatah param Bheda bhavanat Sohamityasau Bhavanabhida Pavani mata Bhavashunyasat Bhavasusthiti Bhavana balat Bhaktiruttama Hristale mana Swastata kriya Bhakti yoga bodhasya निश्चितम् वायुरोदनात् लीयते मनः जालपक्षिवत् रोधसाधनम् चित्तवायवत् चित्क्रियायुता शाखयोर्द्वयी शक्तिमूलका लयविनाशने उभयरोधने लयगतं पुनर्भवति लोमृतम् प्राणबन्धनात् लीनमानसम् एकचिन्तनात् नाशमेत्यदा एकचिन्तनात् नाशमेत्यदा एकचिन्तनात् नाशमेत्यदा
न गुरोरधिकं तत्त्वम् न गुरोरधिकं तपः